Hello, everybody. Who do we have out there in the void of space tonight? Let's have a little look. Hey guys, welcome. Welcome back to another Devs Lost in Space stream. How are you all doing today? I'll say see some shout outs to people in both the Twitch and the YouTube here. Let's have a look. This is right. Fantastic. Okay, good to see you. We got Cyberfreed, Tom, Adam, Atheris, Chipsticks, John, Blade, Joshua, Void, Morning Fresh, Doobie, Enera, Selenius, Evenstar, Umbalo, Dan, Captain Grim, Kingdom Brag, Commander Shepherd, Ashura Math, Volley, Kianata, R8 Driver, LX, Travis, Spring Rabbit. Welcome, welcome guys, and many more. So, today we have a brand new guest. But just before we get on to the guest here tonight, I just want to address the fact that a lot of you guys, of course, have been looking forward to that new update, and it is getting ever closer now. We've been putting out teasers every week, and actually, I will show the teaser that we had just here, in case you missed it. Is that the right one? I don't know if that's the right one. I'm making sure I actually have the right one on here now. That's it. That is the right one, yes. So this is the latest one we put out. And here we are in full 1080p 60 glory. Spoiler? What is this? No. There we have it, guys. This is the Assault skin. Is that an extended mag ice? Oh, it can't be. No, it can't be. Can't be anything there. But great to see you all tonight. Yeah, there it is. What do you think, guys? No sounds. Yeah, sounds are banned. Sounds soon to you. Wait, you hear sounds? If you guys hear sound, I don't hear sound. Oh, you hear sound. Oh, you hear sound. There you go. So, there it is. You get an extra leak today, an extra sound leak. I wasn't planning on it being sound. I was planning on it being a soundless one. I was keeping the sound for later, but there you go. Double the leaks, double the fun here today. So, an actual Xocliw, exactly. So, I hope you guys like that. We can discuss this in a little bit as well, a bit further with our guest today. So let's, without further ado, let's welcome our guest today. Our guest today is an Xbox creator for Space Engineers. They've done so many tutorials on Xbox for Space Engineers, and they're also an accomplished RPG writer, working on such things as Judge Dredd and Doctor Who IPs. So I'm really excited to welcome Darren, or Dwolfyone, to the stream. Let's see if I get this right this time. Darren, can you hear me?
Hello.
See if this works. There we go. Oh, right. That's the one I wanted. There we go. Welcome, man. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Excited as always. Always excited to do these, these weekly live streams of the community. It's always a great moment to kind of connect with the community and also introduce them to maybe a new team member, or in this case, a new community member who they may not have met before. So, for starters, I just want to see how many Xbox players do we have in the chat tonight, because Dwolfy, you've been working on Space Engineers videos ever since the version of Xbox release, which happens to be today. So the 15th of April this year, we released Xbox. And how was that for you? Were you playing Space Engineers before the Xbox version?
I bought Space Engineers back in 2013 when it came out on Steam. Played it for a while. Then my PC went wrong. And eventually I kind of drifted away from PC gaming. And then when I got the laptop, that became a work laptop, and constantly writing on it, I had very little time to sort of play PC games. And then I heard that Space Engineers was coming to the Xbox. And so I kept my eye on that release for ages and ages and ages. And then, of course, last year, April the 15th, I got my pre-order in straight away. So I was on that the moment that it released.
And I just want to say that we're really grateful, honestly, for the tutorials that you've done, because I'm curious out there in the chat if any of the Xbox players have used Dwolfyone's tutorials to help them, because just to give the chat some ideas, how many videos on Xbox have you put out? Because I know you've got tutorials, you've got mod showcases specifically for Xbox as well, as those obviously more and more stuff. So could you summarize maybe some of the video stats you've done for Xbox?
Well, I've got 67 so far, Space Engineers Xbox tutorials. The next one is on the replay camera.
The replay tool?
The replay tool. And that will be the 68th. Then I've got, let me see, new player guides. I've got 7 of those up so far. A couple of videos on my own builds, which is the Callisto 71 Torch Freighter. 13 mod showcases so far. A Dwolfyone plays, which is just me chilling and playing the game. And then 4 official DLC showcases for the DLC or the updates. And that's pretty much it so far. I'm also going to be adding ship showcases for members of the community. So if they want to shoot a ship off, they can contact me on YouTube, Discord, or Facebook through the various channels, which we'll obviously talk about in a bit. And if they want me to look at a ship, I'll go through the ship. Not so much a review, just an actual look at the ship.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic, and I definitely encourage you guys, if you're on Xbox and you're looking for help, or maybe looking to learn some of the more advanced features of Space Engineers, definitely check out Darren's channel. It's linked in the description of this of the YouTube, and I think Kianata could also be able to paste in the chat. So definitely, he's been a huge help to many Xbox players this past year, and we're grateful for all the videos that you've done. Cool, man. Actually, just briefly here, as I did an extra leak here. I just wanted to. We'll actually come back to your channel and yourself in a second here. I just played it. What was your feelings about this teaser, Darren, that we've been put on a stream right now?
I love it. Like I said, one of the things I really like is the armor. I get Star Wars vibes from it. And I definitely think the other thing you mentioned is definitely that. And that pistol, looks...
It's a nice extended mag, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean... yeah. Well, actually, I was planning this teaser today, and I meant to render the video out without sound. And I obviously forgot that. So I think the first thing was that I forgot to actually render out without sound, and then I think, because of that, I forgot to mute it. But there you go. It's bonus teaser today. But what do you guys think of the sound? What do you guys think of the sound as well, in that case? RoboCop, Clone Wars vibes. How you doing, Boss King? Welcome. What I missed there? Fantastic. Sounds awesome. Is it? You probably can't. Can you hear it now still? I guess you can still hear it now. It actually might be quite loud. I can't hear. That's the problem, because I can't hear it. Some of my audio mixing Go XLR stuff, I haven't got the audio from this routed out to the. Oh, do I? No, I don't. Maybe I do. Hold on, let's see. We now? No, I don't hear it. So that's it. I didn't realize until everyone said. So, fantastic. So anyway, I know you guys have lots of questions about when the next update's coming, and it is really soon now. We've got those teasers we've had weekly now, and we're getting ever closer, and we're really excited to share, the updates that we've been working on. So we'll bring this up in a little bit here. So Great. So, coming back to yourself, Darren. Let's learn a little bit about your past. So I mentioned in the intro that you're an accomplished RPG writer, you know, and so maybe tell everyone a bit about your story there and some of the projects that you've worked on. I mentioned Judge Dredd and Doctor Who, so yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I started writing role-playing games and writing for role-playing back about 2000. I was given my first sort of shot at writing very small descriptions for a city book, and it sort of snowballed from there. The more I wrote, the more people asked me to write, and then one time I was approached by Cubicle 7, who produced the Doctor Who Adventures in Time and Space role-playing game. And they said, would you like to write for this game? We know you write for other things, but would you like to write specifically for this Doctor Who game? Because we know you like Doctor Who, which is an understatement. I watched Doctor Who from...
Love me some Doctor Who. Love Doctor Who.
Tom Baker sort of era, because I was born in 69, to give away my age.
Oh, age reveal. Any Doctor Who fans in the chat?
Age reveal and age reveal. It's
oh, really? Because you haven't done this on the street. You haven't done it on your channel before.
That's right. I've never actually revealed to the sort of like YouTube. I haven't done a face reveal or anything like that. So
that's awesome. That's awesome
lots
to have
of things
that
going on. But yeah, it sort of went. They said, "Would you write the first Doctor book, William Hartnell?" Which Hartnell's tenure was 1963, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll do that."
What an amazing opportunity.
It was fantastic. I spent 6 months researching and watching old Hartnell episodes, reading scripts. I got access to a script archive of all the episodes, because obviously some of Hartnell's were lost. And it went from there. And then people started approaching me and saying, can you write for this? Can you write for that? And not long... A few years ago, I was approached by EN Publishing, and they said, you like 2000 AD, don't you? And I went, yes, that's a comic I read as a kid growing up. Would you like to write for the Judge Dredd and the Worlds of 2000 AD role-playing game, which was a dream thing. So I got to write for the core book, but I also got to write the other Judge Dredd, or rather the 2000 AD strip, which I'm hugely fond of, which is Strontium Dog. So I got to write the core rulebook for Strontium Dog. I've done tons of books.
And actually, that's amazing things that you've worked on in the past. And where's the best place to find all of your work and all the things that you've worked on? Because obviously the YouTube is more about the Space Engineers recently. So if people are interested in your RPG writing and all that good stuff, where would they look?
They would be best looking either on Amazon.
Okay.
You can actually find my name under Darren Pierce. But there's also a website called DriveThruRPG.com, which you can probably throw some links down to.
Yeah, Kianada's got
where
that.
You'll find the majority of my role-playing game writing as either PDFs or you can get a print on demand of the book.
That's fantastic, man. That's awesome. It's so we've had already. We're still just getting this kind of show running, and you're our second community guest. But it's great to have someone with, again, such a diverse background. So that's awesome.
So it's fun.
Dr. Y. I'm still waiting for Dr. Y. So yeah, that's awesome. And then you kind of mentioned how you bought space. Hold on, it's my cat's birthday today, and he's just trying to jump in. He's trying to jump in the room here. 1 second, it's gonna lock.
It's all right. I've got 7 cats, and one of them tried to break into the room just. Cat reveal.
This is Django, and it's his 4th birthday today. He wanted to get a moment on stream. There we go.
There you go. I'd just be drowned by cats if it was me.
Yeah, I had to lock him out because he gets when he hears me talking to someone, he gets very jealous and tries to jump on. He actually jumps up on the door and comes in the room, and he's probably saying, "Hey, it's my birthday. What are we doing?" So yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. I've got 7 cats, so it's
7.
like
Oh my goodness.
at least one of them tried to break in just before this started.
Okay, so 7 cats. That's on a completely different level. Wow. I find 1 to be a handful. That's awesome. And thank you guys for the birthday wishes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So coming back to the channel then.
Yep.
I wanted to kind of ask you, what would be like, what's your personal wish list for space engineers?
Personal wish list.
It can be, there's the obvious ones that people want, water and so on. But I'm just curious to ask you, I'm curious to know, and also, as maybe as the RPG writer, I'm not sure. I'm just curious to see what your wish list for space engineers would look like.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, tough one.
I would be very interested, obviously. I was very interested in Frostbite's scenario because I'm been a story person, a fiction author. I've written novels as well as short stories and anthologies. I like story, so seeing a story and a scenario and more stuff like that for space engineers would be interesting. I'm with a lot of the community who want to see the sort of the Xbox version get some more NPC encounters. I'm a big fan of the modular encounter spawner, etc. Things like that. Something vanilla for space engineers that could expand and enhance that particular aspect of the game.
I'm actually curious because, again, as you have a lot more. Again, you have hundreds and hundreds of hours of experience in Space Engineer's Xbox version, right? And while I have nearly 6,000 hours on the PC, I probably have less than 100 hours on Xbox. So I'm actually curious to know how much of the stuff then, like, so you mentioned modular encounters. So this is on Xbox now as well?
I think you can get it onto the dedicated server, but I'm sort of thinking more in the actual.
Yeah, vanilla, of course. I was just curious. I was just curious to know how much, because I know the things are still moving across. They're still trying to get more modders to publish on Xbox. So I was just curious to know if that big mod had actually made its way or
I think it has made it onto dedicated servers. I could possibly check just very briefly while we're chatting.
Some people agree with you as well. People like the Frostbite scenario. And actually, it'd be really interesting if we do more story-based games. It'd be interesting to maybe work for yourself as an experienced writer. Yeah. And that would mark it down, Gianata. We can mark that down actually if we're looking for more writers. It's good to that we've been. Hold on. Let's get this.
There you go. Modular encounter spawner for space engineers on Mod.io.
There it is. Fantastic. There we go. That's awesome. Yeah, Frostbite was awesome. So yeah, I think a lot of people agree with that, but also people will like this kind of procedural scenarios. So when you're in the survival world, that things will just pop up and stuff like that. Yeah. So that makes sense actually. It's not such a surprising answer that to have some more kind of story-based content in the game, be that a campaign or be that kind of on the go style stuff, encounters and so on. Awesome.
Yeah, I think my other dream wish list is more decorative / functional blocks inside ships for more detailed interiors. Okay. I'm a big fan of detailed interiors.
Well, we're always looking for new ideas on that front. So what blocks to decorate an interior would you want to see? Can you think of any off the top of your head?
Well, I know we can make the various sort of tables and things that we've got. So some more variance in that might be nice for a different kind and style of ship. I would like to see something similar to the Colt Command pack for various different stations.
Very nice pack.
It's a fantastic pack. I used that on the Callisto 71 for all the control stations.
No, it's one of the most popular ones. That's been I've had that on servers for many years now, and it's amazing that it's still going, and it came out. It was one of the first major packs. I think it was pretty early on, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. Maybe even before. It may have been before the Steam Workshop modding. I can't remember honestly, but that's definitely a big one. More toilet variants. Compact airlock. Colt Command Pack is good. I bet the Colt Command Pack's on Xbox. Well, it is. You mentioned you use it. Of course, yeah. I would surprise if that wasn't. So maybe also you mentioned, maybe we'll just mention some of the things that you're planning to work on, or some of the things that your friends are working on. I think it's something that Kianata told me to. I should mention this.
Ah, yes.
I think I think I'm outside of this, but I think you know what that means.
Yes, I know what that means. Okay, so I've been talking and helping out and chatting to Paul Thompson, who's another great space engineers creator.
Okay.
If you've ever seen his YouTube channel and his Temple of Clang and various things like that, he has built a Jaeger from Pacific Rim, a working Jaeger which can be piloted by one person or two. It's got custom animations, and how he's done it, I have no idea. I think it's magic. I don't know, or technomancy. I have no
on
idea.
Xbox as well, is this?
Yep, on Xbox.
Wow.
And he built it for me so that he could help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I've passed over 1,040 so far.
Okay.
And we're
Congratulations.
looking for a way to kind of disseminate this to the subscribers and fans of Paul's work. Through, but he's got various videos up on his channel showing it off. If I just send you the link.
Yeah, I feel like we just shout out their channel as well there.
Yeah, Paul Thompson. If I
Paul
give
Thompson.
You Paul's channel.
Can you post it if you can paste it in the are you in the Twitch chat or the YouTube chat?
No, I'm.
Oh, you're on. Okay. If you send it to Kianata's
here, and I'll send it to Kianata. If you just give me a tick. But the Jaeger project is something that is, in a word, it's mind-blowing. I've not seen anything quite like it built.
I love to see mechs and so on. And actually, I think I know. I've recently saw this amazing mech factory, and these designs. I feel like only a small subset of players has the kind of skills to make that stuff, because I wouldn't even know where to start, honestly, with these mech kind of things, or at least it would take me a very long time. So I'd be really curious to see. So you guys can check out the channel there. Big shout out there. So that's interesting.
Genius. He's custom programmed this Jaeger to do all sorts of various things, including that, and it can walk. It's got hidden weapons. I think some people are,
maybe I can hold on. Maybe I'll get it up here. Hold on. Maybe I can watch this videos. John's saying it's amazing. Hold on.
It's incredible. He put it up on the Facebook group that I admin, or rather I now own the
Oh my goodness!
Official Facebook group. It is stunning. That.
I don't even. Well, let me just get this up here. I haven't seen this yet, but this is nuts. Hold on. Oh, wait a second here.
It's pretty impressive.
Which is the best video? There's like so many videos of it, of like kicking and maybe legs. Yeah. What's the best video here? There's so many videos. He's been working on it for a while. Then you can see he's started off.
His recent one is the rocket punch.
I'll show the web page here before I click on anything. Check out this, guys.
What's frightening?
Just flicking over the images here, like look how massive it is. The detail. I even know where to start clicking on it.
And look at the con pod as well. He's actually got a working con pod inside with all sorts of actual systems built inside this Jaeger. Okay,
we'll have to find one here and we'll click on it. Oh, I see. Like here, yeah. Okay, here it is. Okay, the con pod. This has the most view.
It's tricky, isn't it, to pick one because they're all really
yeah. It's hard to know which one to start. Hold on.
piece.
No, that's okay. I've got one. I think this is just it walking, and this is on Xbox.
Yeah. This is on Xbox.
Whoa. So you guys check this out. That is so complex. All the joints.
Yeah. And the fact it's standing up in Space Engineers and not exploding.
What is this? This is incredible. And does he... Wow. There's another view in a second, guys, from up top. Hold on. Oh, the next one is... Yeah, here he is on the surface here. It's just the scale of it. The scale is so immense. Like, I don't know what block count that is high, but... Is it using timers?
Yeah, he's used timers and...
oh, wait, is it...
not a single... Obviously, there's not a single script there apart from the vanilla ones that are in the game. And,
not a single... Oh my goodness. I can't imagine making something this complex out of timer blocks.
You should.
It has toes, yeah.
Deployable weapons. It's deployable weapons video.
Okay,
there's
okay.
A blade that comes out of the left arm, and a cannon that deploys from the right.
Whoa. Okay, all right. We gotta. So this is walking. I mean, the scale is just crazy.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's just mind-blowing.
You mean you mentioned your friend was working on a mech, and I was like, okay, I've seen some pretty cool mechs, you know, over the years, but this is something like on a whole. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like this. Hold on, I've got the work in progress Jaeger rocket punch. Let's have a look at this. It's only 29 seconds.
Yeah, this is him basically showing off how he's literally created the rocket punch.
Oh my goodness.
And if you look at the hand, the arm, the
there's
detail.
so much detail on the fingers and it's crazy. And all this in the middle, I mean, it's just nuts.
Yeah. He's created a custom sort of projection of the reactor, of the central chest piece.
I hope he makes some kind of cinematic with this in the future, you know?
I think that's one of his plans, to do a cinematic with the Jaeger.
I'm trying to see here, what else is good? We got... Where's... Hold on, what's this? Hold on. Where was this retractable blade? Is this on here?
Yeah, it should be.
I'm looking here. There's a lot of video. Yeah, wow.
Look for Jaeger build new stable weapon effects.
Okay. New stable
weapon effects.
There it is. All right, here we go. I'll pull them just in case. I don't know what that music is, but it's probably. I'm assuming it's Pacific Rim, right?
It's Pacific Rim. Yeah. It's the soundtrack to Pacific Rim.
It's a banger of a soundtrack. Yeah, it's amazing.
It is.
Here we go. Whoa! I can see it there. That is the blade. I don't know. So it's got like a. It's like the blade has the projector over it.
Yeah, it's some Hollywood level film magic in Space Engineer.
Oh wow! I gotta get this blueprint. That's what I'm thinking when I see this. Wow. Okay, so that's it coming out. I'm just struggling to comprehend how much stuff must be involved to get all of this working together. You know, you've got the weapon systems is one thing, you've got the mobility, the balance, all of it, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So definitely, if you haven't checked out this channel yet, let's get another link for it. And it looks like he's not finished yet, so you can follow along with the process of this amazing Jaeger build. This is absolutely insane. I've never seen anything in SE of this scale and of this detail. I've seen massive mechs. I've seen, like, you know, Warhammer 40k Titans and so on. but nothing quite with this amount of moving parts and attention to detail. This is insane, honestly. So thank you so much, Darren, for actually bringing this up today. Because wow, this is incredible.
It was a pleasure to do this because Paul has worked his heart out on it, and he specifically said, "I'm going to do this to help you get over your 1,000 subscribers."
Wow.
So we're looking for a way to get it to my subscribers, but maybe if we talk to Paul nicely, he'll release it to the wider community. We'll see on that one.
All right. I have to ask very nicely.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool.
One more video I think I found here. Let's have a look at this. One more video. Let's see.
Which one's this one?
There's just, I think, improved movements, but looking over the flicking over it, it looked like it had some pretty cool movements in there.
Yeah, it's this might be the hand.
Yeah, it looks like the hand punch or something like this. Like the kind of...
But you imagine the kind of level of programming in terms of timer blocks and everything that has to go into this to make it without a script.
I can't.
Just to do this. And it's...
I can't imagine this without all on timer blocks. Does that man have a spare NASA computer at his house? No, it's on Xbox, Blade. It's on. All you need is an Xbox. Do you know what kind of Xbox?
I believe his is just an Xbox One. I don't know if it's an Xbox One X. I will ask him and find out, and then I'll pass it on to Keenata, and you can.
Fantastic.
You can find out, but I know he doesn't have a Series X yet.
Okay. Incredible, guys. Can we see some some claps in the chat for this thing, because this is nuts. It's so, I want to say lifelike. You know what I mean? The movement is so smooth. It's insane. Wow. And maybe I just persuade him to see if he can put it on mod.io and have a play on PC as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I want to watch the films again. Yeah. Amazing. All right, guys. Since you've got still a bit more time here, we'll let it play out. Loop here.
It's pretty impressive.
One of the things, just off topic here, guys, is that we have a special offer on a DLC today. Something that we want to try out here. So for today, guys, we have the Style Pack on sale. You can visit, I think if you get the link in the chat, it's a 24-hour discount. It's 30% off. Available on spaceengineersgame.com. So it's in the description, or I'm sure we'll get a link in chat as well. So a kind of a special offer, which I think we're going to start trying to do here on these streams. So this will be 24 hours only, probably by tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. We'll probably be closing that off our time. But if you want to pick up the Style Pack, and you haven't got it yet, check it out. Flash sale, flash sale indeed, Gwyn. This week's the Style Pack, Blade, but who knows what we can have in the future. So thanks, Kianata. Thanks for putting the link in chat there. Fantastic. So that was that. Okay, let's have a little look. You already have all the DLC available. All right, that's good. That's good, Adam. Complete the collection. All right. So amazing stuff. Amazing stuff there from Paul. Let's just do this, close this off, and just make sure I've got that. So another thing, actually, Darren, is your kind of involvement and maybe a shout out for the Facebook community of Xbox players, right? Because I'm not in that one, I don't think. I'm in a couple of Space Engineers Facebook groups, like a multiplayer one, but I believe this is the one dedicated for Xbox players, right? So is there something you want to give a shout out for the community over there?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to the great folks over at the unofficial Xbox Space Engineers community. They're wonderful. Paul, of course, being one of them. That's exactly how I met Paul, was through that community.
And he shares his stuff on the...
Yeah, he shares his Jaeger builds and anything else. He shared the build of the Temple of Clang on there as well, which was, if you've not seen that video, that's, again, mind-blowing. The things he can do with this game are, I've not seen the like. So, yeah, and we do have the, I mean, I think Kinata can probably drop a link to
for that
Facebook page. And attached to that Facebook is a Discord. So if you want to drop by, say hello, feel free.
That's great. That's really good.
As well, Joel, feel free to drop by.
Because
we share stuff like the Jaeger, and my Callisto 71 went up there as I was building her as well.
Yeah, it's really good that there are some places, you know, dedicated for the Xbox players. We obviously have the official Discord in there as well, but if you guys are Xbox players and, you know, maybe looking for some people to play with, for some kind of inspiration or some, you know, sharing builds, then from today, hopefully you've got some more ideas. So we've already shouted out, you can check out Dwolfyone's channel. He's covering loads of Xbox specific tutorials, advanced tutorials. He said the next one's going to be the replay tool on Xbox.
Yep.
And as well as the Xbox Facebook group as well. I don't know how many members there are in there. I'm kind of curious to know, but definitely jump on over there as well for Xbox players, and there's a Discord as well. So these are all dedicated places where you can, if you're an Xbox player, you can look for more specific help and you know, community team ups there. That's awesome.
We have 2.6k members.
Wow, awesome! That's an impressive number. That's the unofficial Space Engineers Xbox group. Over 2,500 members.
Xbox One community.
Amazing. Fantastic. Yeah, look, you look very lost in space, more like keeping it keen. Joe, is it time for a rename again? Dev's Lost in Space. I don't know, you know, I really like keeping it keen. I'm not sure what Kinata says, so maybe we just do a rebrand. Let's go keeping it keen. I feel like keeping it keen. This does feel like one of those, not how to word it. It does feel more like a laid back discussion here with various members of the community. So actually, now you said that, it does make more sense, Joe, in a way. So if there's any of your tutorials, are there any tutorials that you would recommend that are like the most important tutorials, the most helpful tutorials that you've made? Maybe even ones that you think will really benefit Xbox players if they haven't come across this stuff yet, or just ones that you know have helped a lot of people?
I do have a lot of people ask me about, because I tend to focus as well on people who've just grabbed the game or may have had it and not really played it much. So I would say my new player guides are actually quite good, because they start off in creative, and the next one that I'm going to do is starting a game in survival, all the way though from the menu. So all the settings that you can put on to make it either easier or harder for yourself, and how to start it up. And then obviously I'm going to go through survival on how to establish your sort of first survival base, and go on from there eventually to building a ship that can get you all the way into space.
That's a good idea, because when people can follow you all along the way, and if they can say, okay, I'm at this point now, let's see what Dwolfy did, right? So that sounds like a really promising series. I mean, again, probably best, guys, just jump on over there to Dwolfyone's YouTube and hit that subscribe button, and I'm sure you'll be notified whenever whenever those new videos come out. Fantastic. We mentioned, I asked you about, it was kind of a tough question, was the wish list. And do you have any kind of, it could even be the new content that we've teased, or maybe some stuff that you feel like might be in the pipeline. Let me just get this up again here. I think it's this one. So what are you personally looking forward to for the future of Space Engineers? From what you've seen and what was being discussed, is there anything in particular that's got you really excited?
Is this specifically for this that's coming, or
It can
beyond that?
It can be beyond that.
As not.
NDA safe, of course, but I mean, you mentioned how you would love to see more story stuff, more more kind of NPC based stuff. And so how does this kind of how does this war element that we've been kind of pushing on the teasers, how will you kind of approach this new content on your channel?
Well, I've mentioned the Year of War on the last few videos, and I've spoken a little about the teasers. Obviously, once this does come out, then there will be a video pretty much the day after that takes a look at it. It will go in my DLC showcase or update showcase for Keen. So I'll definitely be looking at all the elements in the paid part, not so much the free part, although I could cover both in that regard.
I would. I definitely would. Definitely cover the both parts, I would, if you can, because
it sounds. I mean, you always put out great free and great, paid. I loved the Wasteland update and Sparks of the Future. Those thrusters were one of my favourite things when I saw that. The sci-fi ions were a big hit.
Wait,
yeah,
sci-fi, sci-fi ions are one of the most popular ones, yeah, for sure.
I'd be interested to see more PvE sort of content for maybe the solo or the hosted multiplayer style group who might want to go up against something that's not wolves or spiders, maybe something else. Either some AI engineers or some robots or something along those lines, something interesting to use what looks to be a really interesting pistol with an extended magazine.
Yeah, I mean, there was no sound in last week's, but I think the sound gives away some of the stuff there. So I think the eagle-eyed among people will notice there is a difference between the teasers that we've shown the last couple of weeks, and the sound should help with that.
Yeah.
I see there. Hold on. Okay, great. Just making sure we can try and get to some more general Q&A, guys, at the end of the stream, okay? I see some general SE questions, so we'll try and get to that in a bit. Just reading here. Oh, actually, talking about, you mentioned about, new videos. You put out a video just today, right? On the style pack. So we just mentioned... Go ahead.
Yeah, the style pack, and because it's the anniversary of Space Engineers, I decided to do 2 videos. So it was literally the style pack and the Economy Deluxe.
Fantastic. So, yeah, we've just mentioned, guys, that today that we have that on sale. But yeah, also, brand new video dropped today on Dwolfy's. Kind of a look at that stuff. So definitely, if you haven't, especially if you haven't got that content yet, it's worth a check out. Just see here, I'm missing anything. Thank you, Kianata. Oh, I have another question. It's a very important question. As a fellow Brit, I think you know what's coming. What is your go-to preference of tea? What is your favourite tea, Darren?
Regular tea. Tetley tea is one of my favourites, and so is Red Bush. I'm not a massive fan of Earl Grey tea.
Okay.
I'm not like Jean-Luc Picard, but yeah, sort of like the sort of Red Bush or the Tetley tea.
I'm a Yorkshire tea guy.
I'm
all
Yorkshire
the way.
tea. Oh yeah, Yorkshire tea.
Yorkshire tea, well. Fantastic. That's
that's all I drank when I was in Yorkshire. It was literally sort of any calf.
Chronix is agreeing. Yorkshire tea is the only valid option. Thank you. I'm not actually drinking Yorkshire tea right now. I'm actually drinking some herbal tea right now. I try to avoid having too many kind of black teas. I used to have like 6 or 7 cups a day, but I'm trying to mix it in now. I've become, I think, more European when it comes to drinking tea types now. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit, but The spiffing bit confirmed. Coffee. Oh man. Yeah, we're going off on what. Any other peeps in chat? What is your tea preference, or if not tea, are you more of a coffee person? I'm curious. There is some Yorkshire tea people rising up. I can approve of that. Look at Josh imports Yorkshire tea every month. Josh, that is just how good it is, right? Fantastic. And we're going to bring it back now a little bit. Back to, I missed it earlier when we were talking about your RPG stuff, but also the fact that you've also been on a lot of panels at some game expos on an RPG panel. So maybe give some stories. Let us know how was that then.
It's interesting when you sort of sit down and that you're not quite sure, because on the panel with you is the late great legendary game book author Joe Deaver, who created the Lone Wolf series of game books, and you look out across the audience and you realise that of course most of them are there for Joe, and luminaries like Ian Livingston, the fighting fantasy author, and you look to 200 or 300 people in the auditorium, and you still have to sort of speak to them as well, knowing that really they're there for Joe. And then you find out later on that actually quite a few of them were also interested in what you've got to say, because they came up to me afterwards and said, "Oh, it was a really good panel. I enjoyed what you said about this." And that kind of boosted my confidence a lot.
Of course, no, definitely, and I totally get that. I'm trying to think now. I feel like I've been in some similar situations before, but yeah, sometimes I can definitely see that happening. I can imagine you in that kind of in that situation actually. And then it's always a nice surprise when someone approaches you who's maybe interested in the main person, where everyone's there, but also curious what you had to say as well. And maybe what were some of the names of the expos? I'm trying to see if I even know of them, but maybe some people in chat.
Well, the main one that I tend to attend when there's no pandemic, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Is the UK Games Expo.
Okay, the UK Games Expo.
The Birmingham NEC.
I haven't been to that one. I've been to the NEC I was in the NEC for numerous conventions, but I haven't been to the UK. I don't know. I haven't been there. And is that a long? I assume that's quite a long-running one, right?
Yeah, it's been going years and years and years and years. I've been a guest for 3, 4, 5 years, and before that, it was at a small. It was at the Hilton, and before that, it was at the small Masonic old hall, not too far away from Birmingham. And it kind of snowballed into thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And now it has the NEC Hall 1, 2, and 3.
Wow, they're taking more and more of those halls. Wow.
So it's something quite impressive, and Games Workshop have a huge presence there now as well.
I'm trying to think now. Yeah, I love me some Games Workshop. I mean, I collected a lot of Warhammer. I don't anymore, but at least for like 5 years, I was a big 40k collector. I wish I had a picture of it still. I had a pretty good army of Tau, but I normally, when I'm in Discord, I normally get quite a little bit of flack for being a Tau, for being a Tau guy. But I'm all about the Tau.
Well, as a kind of aside to Warhammer, I actually worked on a book for Ulysses Spiel before the Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory role-playing game changed hands to Cubicle 7. But originally we were writing a source book on the Dark Imperium, and I wrote about 50% of that book.
Wow.
For Ulysses Spiel. For Warhammer 40k.
That's fantastic. So you've also done some Warhammer 40k stuff too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you can actually get some of the stuff I wrote was repurposed and used in the Forsaken Player's Guide for Wrath and Glory, which has been released by Cubicle 7. So it's still there. I mean, I was paid for the work, so what they do with it is up to them, but it's still there. So it did get published in the end.
That's awesome, man. So we got some. We got Jim Massive. I'm a huge Dwolfy fan, and he's doing a very awesome job.
Hi, Jim.
Awesome. And there was a lot of tea discussion as well. I see. Wow.
Is there any 40k discussion?
There is some more.
Are there any Astra Militarum players there?
Let's see.
Or fans of the Imperial Guard?
Imperial Guard fans, 40k fans, rise up.
Or are there any Orc fans? Because we got to support the boys.
Oh man,
let's get a warg.
I don't think. It's funny actually. I feel like orcs are like are the complete polar opposite of my preferences.
Yes.
Let's see. We got Imperial Guard for the Emperor. Yeah, Kianada says, "Oh, he must be purged." Thank you, Kianada. Awesome. Let's see here. Okay. Now, Heretic, tell us your DLC plans. Soon, TM, strong, soon. So we've had the teaser in the background playing for a while now, and I can say, guys, that we are ever so close now. I wish I could say more, but you will find out more very soon, TM. Hold on. I just wanted to check something here before I just suddenly thought of something before I say it. I want to just double check. Let's just double check this. Yeah, well, so as you guys know, or may not know, from this teaser, the teaser that I've just taken off again, this was with the caption, "The time for battle is now. Armor up engineer. Warfare 1 field engineer releasing later this month." So, if that all goes to plan, well, we're midway through April now. So there's going to be, well, you can do the maths on that. There's now less days in April than, well, actually, not quite, but still soon. That, I'm not sure, maybe not everyone kind of got that news, but we are really close now, guys. And I'm really looking forward to actually sharing with you what that is. There's some really nice things the guys have been working on now. Okay. Check here. Where we are now later than the announcement was. That's my maths. Well, that's it. There's 2 Thursdays left. Okay, I like your thinking, Michael. 2 Thursdays left in April. The question is, which one could it be? Could it be on? Maybe it's not on a Thursday. I mean, Patchmas is Patchmas, but still. Do you guys have any questions for Dwolfyone or Darren here before I move on? Because I know there's definitely some general SE questions, but do you guys have any questions for Darren, either about his kind of experience, his channel, or his Xbox videos, or there could also be questions about his RPG writing as well. So definitely now is the time to ask. So you keep it on the time as well here. Day's going good. I think it's going good. Your day's going good, right, Darren?
Yeah, fantastic.
Awesome, awesome. Just click this off as well. Carlo asks, are you doing an RPG thing for SE? It's an interesting question.
That's an interesting question.
Or would you maybe? Or are you? Would you? Could you?
If Keen were interested in doing a role-playing game based on space engineers, I would not turn down an offer to work alongside you to help make that happen. Currently, I'm working on another role-playing game based on Ian Sharp's Vikingverse,
okay,
which will be out at some point in the near future. we're still beavering away on that one. So yeah, I'm not adverse to working on an RPG based on Space Engineers. I mean, there is an RPG based on Elite Dangerous, so
that's actually interesting. Now I'm thinking of that. Who in chat? 07's in the chat. If you would like to see a Space Engineers based RPG, what do you think about that? Admiral Silk says, "OMG, an RPG Space Engineers, woo!" Oh wow, we got some people. Look at that, fantastic. Thanks, Trippy. I think that's a compliment. I wouldn't work with Xocliw, but I'd happily share multiple pints of him. I'm not that bad at my Trippy. But yeah, a lot of 07s. Admiral Silk, Hugo, Floss, X-Master, TAC, Sweet Fang, Blade, Michael, Anti-How Lords. That's a lot. Fantastic. All right. SE guys watching, another note to put down. Space Engineers RPG when?
yeah.
Wow. If you make an RPG Space Engineers, you should make a fan contest for features in it. Actually, it would be, even cool as well if that actually eventually, if that happened at some point, then we could stream it. We could get Marek playing and Darren. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, to sort of give you a name of the RPG luminary that I know, Mark Miller, who created Traveller. So I'm into science fiction role-playing games as well, including the hard sci-fi ones. And I think Space Engineers would be a kind of sort of Traveller come Elite Dangerous, somewhere in the middle.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. I'd be really curious because I say it's I don't have that much experience with RPGs, honestly. It was funny. There was guys often playing them in the office, and I was always late working on a video, and they're like, "Hey, Zoc, come play." And there was literally countless weeks and hours where I was like opportunity, and I was always in the middle of something. So I would definitely like to kind of get more involved with it, honestly, because I know there's people who speak so highly of them and have so much fun with it. So I would, and especially if it was an SE one, that might be the the kind of the trigger to get me to really kind of to commit some time to this. It'd be awesome. Make it.
Yeah, I've been involved sort of with RPGs, playing them I started playing them when I started running them when I was just 10th birthday was the Red Box D&D set, so it gives you an idea of how long I've been doing role-playing games.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question. Actually, wait, so I mean, how long have you been doing RPG work? Actually, that's a good point. I'd asked a bit about your history. So when was your
RPG work has been since 2000.
Oh, okay.
But
so
playing RPGs, it's about 42 years.
That's impressive. So over 42
so
years,
40 years of playing.
Over 40 years of playing RPGs, and over 20 years of working on them. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing here. There's some. Wait, what was that comment? You Found Me was asking maybe a detailed tutorial on using the scenario builder. I think this is a suggestion for. But the scenario builder, is that the VST tools?
It's a PC thing, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I think that's what they're talking about.
Which is something maybe for the future. You never know, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you never know. You get that kind of thing on the Xbox.
I think you can have scenarios on the Xbox, but I don't think you can make them because it's a separate application. So I assume you have to make it on PC and then have it on Xbox. So that would be probably a trouble for an Xbox orientated one. You Found Me. I've got some question here. Yeah, keep the questions coming, guys. Any questions at all for Dwolfyone here? X-Master says, "What is the best character you've written so far?"
Best character I've written. Is this in terms of the RPG stuff?
Yeah, I'd assume so. Yeah.
I would say my favourite was getting to write Johnny Alpha from Strontium Dog in the official role-playing game, because I got to get the seal of approval from John Wagner, who was the co-creator of Strontium Dog and various other 2000 AD strips way, way, way back. So yeah, I would say Johnny Alpha, with maybe nods to Wolf, Sternhammer, and the Gronk. Those were fun to sort of work on. Fantastic.
There you go, X-Master. Hey, Darren. Well, it's good to see you. So there we go. Any more questions, guys? Keep them coming. I'm going to flick here. I think I might have missed some. Like a lot of discussion about an SE RPG. Hold on. Yeah, Disco says, how do you tie things together into a larger story as an author? What is your style? Thank you, Disco, for the question.
That's a really interesting question, because every writer is different. And of course, a lot of writers do their own sort of, write like this, learn to write like me. And I sort of have a favorite writer of being Neil Gaiman, who's an incredible writer. And my style of sort of thing is I build a world Bible. Being a role-playing game writer, I build a world Bible with characters, locations, and all sorts of things. Then I do an outline of the entire story. So if I'm writing a novel, I will outline every single chapter from beginning to end. And that can change. You can reach chapter 13 and decide, this needs to alter because of what I did in the last few chapters. I will amend this particular part of it, and then it has a knock-on effect across the whole.
Of course, yeah. Chain reaction, yeah.
But my style, I suppose, is research and outlining, rather than, I think, Stephen King, who just writes and writes and writes, and his sort of story comes together.
Yeah.
Mine is pretty much a creating the outline, creating a world builder's guide,
okay, and
then writing it from chapter to chapter.
Once you've got it more planned out.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it sounds like
my novel's world guide was something like 60 pages.
It sounds like the less
an RPG book in itself.
Yeah, it's as if it sounds like the less chaotic approach to writing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kienos. That would be fantastic. Hold on. Chronix asks a question for you, Dwolfy. Shadowrun or Cyberpunk?
I would say Cyberpunk, because I'm an old Cyberpunk 2013 GM. I bought Cyberpunk way back when it came out. And I'm on our Talasaurians list of writers to work on Cyberpunk Red at some point in the future, and maybe the Witcher RPG. So yeah, I'm a Cyberpunk fan more than anything to do with Shadowrun. I'm pretty much into the more grounded Cyberpunk style.
Okay.
I worked on a role-playing game called Carbon 2185, and I wrote the London source book for that, which was the sort of punchline for that was putting the punk back into cyberpunk.
Wait, what? But cyber orcs, says Kianata. He's crying. And Cronus has another question actually as well. They ask, what do you think of writing tools like Campfire and world building tools like Kanka.io? What do you use?
Me specifically, I use the just Word, and sometimes I'll jump into Scrivener, but most of the time it's usually a document aside from that where I write everything into it. And the good old-fashioned one, which everybody should have access to, and is your best friend when you're a writer. Pen and paper.
Pen and paper.
A notebook or
Very
a
good.
notepad for all your ideas. There's a story on that one there that I wrote for an anthology called Apex, which is science fiction / dinosaurs. And yep.
There's nothing like sturdy pen. You mean, yeah, it's interesting because you definitely think that these days most people moving away as much as possible from this, but actually even though I myself, I sometimes forget how to write. Honestly, I write so little. I do like a signature or something. But there is something, not, especially when like a book or something. It's something, because again, you know, even books, like so much of it now is virtual, and you know, having it on a Kindle or whatever else, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
There's something like, there's still something that's, I feel like a lot of people, it's satisfying about having that, you know, that paper in your hand. It's somehow, I think it's definitely, I don't know. I'm starting to say Kindle because I'm going to say like harsh in your eyes, but then, you know, Kindle's kind of like neutral. But there's something about a book, right, which is still tactile, stands a test of time, right? So, yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting to see that, yeah, because there's obviously some more advanced tools out there, but sometimes nothing beats a pen and paper, right? Yeah, there was a link. Wayne was also with a Facebook link, so definitely check out again the Facebook community for Xbox guys, where Darren and Dwolfyone is heavily involved, and I'm sure is sharing updates and stuff there as well. So yeah, definitely all Xbox players should jump onto that Facebook page and their Xbox community Discord. Pen and paper is all good and well and good until you go to make random notes at 3 a.m. and you've come up with a spill water all over the entire pad. Yeah, do you have any horror stories like that? Like where you've, as a writer, where you've, I don't know, either writing and something's caught on fire, or maybe you were typing and the PC burnt down, anything like any kind of crazy losses?
I've got a horror story.
Okay, let's hear it.
I was working on quite a large book. Actually, the two horror stories. The first one is the more sort of PC breaking down. There was actually 3 power cuts in a row which blew out the power supply unit on the PC, detonated the motherboard, and utterly destroyed a 2,500 quid gaming rig at the same time. And so the 6 months of work on one of these role-playing game books was fortunately preserved by having a backup USB drive with enough information. I backed up a couple of days, so I only lost about a day or so's work on that book. But had that have been on the main drive without the backup, it would have been a rewrite from scratch with that book. I guess from that moment on, you learned that backups are so important with anything, especially Space Engineers saves and blueprints. Yes. Oh my God. I've actually got the Callisto 71 saved on a hard drive. Not IO. Good. Yeah, that's what you need. The second horror story is more recent. And back in February of this year, I contracted COVID-19, and it was a very almost lethal version of COVID-19. If anybody's been following the channel and my videos will know the story that I nearly ended up dying from it. But I managed to fight it off and get back. Very pleased to hear that. But it took my role-playing game writing the course. Of course, yeah. Back 2 months or so, and I lost the book because of it, because we just couldn't produce that book in the time frame. So that book is either going on the back burner almost indefinitely while we look at another book, or that might be just a book that we don't do. It all depends on the company in question, what they decide to do. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's brutal. That's definitely pleased that you're definitely pleased to see that you made a full recovery. It was somewhat terrifying. I had my first vaccination shot not long ago as well, so that's good. My second one, oddly enough, rolls around possibly June the 17th or 18th, which ironically is my birthday. Birthday shot. So there you go. See that, and again, I was just thinking, and I'm sure, you know, that is an unfortunate setback, but I'm sure that even in the work, you know, you'll make a comeback in that sense. I'm sure that it'll work out in the end. I think, as always, if anything, your health is the most important thing. I mean, what's a book, right? If you know, if something more serious happens, right? So it's definitely good. A question from Adam. It says, have you any experiences with steampunk worlds? And if yes, have you got any hints for story writers? Well, that's an interesting question, because one of my favourite genres is steampunk. In fact, I took several elements of steampunk, modernised and changed them to the Renaissance for my own novel, Fate's Hand. which is getting rewritten as well as part of a deal I've got with a company called Outland Entertainment. And steampunk's an interesting one because, again, you've got that word punk.
Yeah.
Now, that's quite an important word. When you look at cyberpunk and steampunk, etc., the word punk is your important word. So when you're writing a steampunk story, you've got to think about the punk side of it. I'm not necessarily talking about Victorians with mohawks and chains and spiky jackets, but I'm talking about the attitude, which is pretty much fighting the establishment.
Yeah.
So in Victorian terms, you've always got that kind of top 1%, the top dog, and then you've got the worker class. And so your punk side of a steampunk story should focus on your worker class, almost fighting against or overthrowing or interacting in some way, shape or form with the upper crust of society. But yeah, the punk part is the part you focus on.
I'm actually just...
And the technology is almost a kind of dressing to the world. If you build an interesting world and you create interesting characters, don't make the technology the focus. So if you've got the ether of steampunk and you've got ray guns or you've got ether guns and engines that can lift vast steamships into the sky, that's your background. The most important thing, again, is this conflict and these characters and how they interact.
Definitely. So it's interesting. Again, they have that overriding kind of similarity, but just in different styles. I've actually just put a poll in the chat asking people, steampunk or cyberpunk? You know, I'm curious what people would say to this. Yeah, it's definitely it's an interest. I hadn't actually thought about it when you just to break it down like that. You know, taking the punk part, right? And it's actually, and as Michael said, a really nice analysis. Adam, the person who asked the question, says, "Thank you very much. It's very, very valuable for me." So yeah, that's really great. That's actually.
If people reach out to me as well on the community side of my channel and ask questions like that, I don't mind answering those. Even though it's space engineers, my channel, I've had it 10 years, and only last year did I repurpose it for space engineers tutorials. So if you've got any questions like that, reach out. I'm quite happy to talk about them.
I bet that will be really useful for people who are, you know, definitely interested into even writing. And so sorry, I think I missed that. The best place to contact you, to speak with you personally?
To speak to me personally, if you come onto the Space Engineers
Xbox Discord, okay.
Official Discord. I'm also on the Keen Discord as well.
Okay.
You can see my name with my channel name after it on there. I've been there for a bit.
You don't have your own Discord, or?
So,
do you have your own Discord?
We've got the Discord for the Space Engineers group on the Facebook, so I can use that one. I don't mind chatting in off topic.
Okay. Well, you guys know, definitely. I'm sure those who are interested can find you, can hunt you down and get a hold of you.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the main thing.
In the UK, and they go to UK Games Expo, I actually run a workshop every expo on scenario/adventure writing for role-playing games. But again, I'll answer questions regarding writing at those workshops.
That's awesome. I'd be curious to know if anyone in chat has been to that event actually at some point in the past. It's been going for a while. I know we have plenty of people who are based in the UK. Solar punk, no diesel punk. I'm sorry, I just put 2 there, but it looks like steampunk is actually winning the poll. Steampunk is pulling ahead.
Diesel punk's an interesting one as well, because things like games like Crimson Skies are diesel punk.
Tesla punk is my favorite, which is that sort of twilight era of the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Where we were first starting to shine the torch of science into the dark, unknown corners. We didn't know what we didn't know yet, and magic was still possible. A blend of steampunk and Tesla coils and Jacob's ladders. The film The Prestige of David Bowie was sort of Tesla punk. I mean, it had Tesla in it, lol. Interesting. I mean, now I'm actually wondering, because I'm not. How many punks are there now? Actually, I mean, there's probably
exactly. There's a lot of genres that people append sort of punk to. if you probably look on Google and just check how many
Punk.
punk genres there are in fiction, you can find all sorts of things.
But they still share that same similarity that you were explaining earlier with the kind of analysis of it. That's the punk part of it is what makes it, which what they all share, right? Oh
yeah, they should sort of all have that unifying idea of that punk aspect in the whole thing. I mean, if you approach them correctly.
Yeah.
A lot of people do look at the aesthetic of sort of steampunk and think, oh, cool, Victorian cogs on hats, machines, and that's, to them, that's what steampunk is. But they missed that point at the end, the punk word.
Yeah.
It's what I felt Cyberpunk 2077 missed was the word punk, which is, it's like they've got Cyberpunk 2013, 2020, red, and then 2077 kind of went off rails with the idea of working, for the police or working for
of course, the different
corporations. Whereas your average Cyberpunk sort of player slash person is fighting against the corporation.
Right. It was that was. I mean, I haven't played it yet, honestly, but I think one of the kind of ones you follow is the corp, and then there's the street. Yeah, I forgot that there's 3, right? I forgot the names of them, but I think one of them follows the kind of the corporation side. So
that's it. Yeah, you've got the nomads, you've got the street kid. And
that's it. Nomad, street kids, and just looking here. Lots of questions. Fantastic. Any more questions, guys? Though, any more questions that I haven't seen? If I haven't answered your question for specifically for Darren, Dwolfyone, not so much SE questions right now. One question was about your Xbox, actually, because I remembered it now. What was what do you run Space Engineers on? And where did you start, like last year and so on? Like, what was your Xbox? What's your Xbox history, right? Have you always been a hardcore Xbox person, or have you dabbled in PlayStation or PC here and there?
Back when a friend of mine, I had a PlayStation, and a friend of mine popped over, and he brought this great big black box, and he put it down, and he set it all up, and he basically turned on Halo. And I heard the first bars of the Halo theme and saw the Master Chief for the first time. And I'm a big first-person shooter fan anyway. And there was this game that just absolutely blew my mind at the time. And I remember a few weeks later putting my own big black box down, putting it all in, and firing up my own copy of Halo. And that was it. From that point on, while I dabbled with PlayStation here and there, I've had all the Xbox releases from the original through to the 360, to the Xbox One, the One X, Scorpio, and the Series X. And when I started doing
followed all the way through,
I was on the One X.
Okay, so you're on
Not long, I got a Series X at launch.
Wow. So impressive, you managed to get that. Quick on the pre-order.
One of the first videos of this year was on the Series X running Space Engineers. And that is the console I feel that runs the games so much better. It's almost as though it was targeted on that. It's such a great change. I mean, I can load up Redshift on that in 3 to 6 seconds. If you've got a mod on it or two, it's a bit longer, but I bet 3 to 4 seconds without mods on Redshift.
I mean, I feel like obviously the power of PCs has been for a while now, stronger than the average PC, should I say, than the Xbox One. But the thing with the Xbox Series X is that it's that NVMe drive, right, which makes a big difference. And I think I only recently got an NVMe drive, and I'm not sure how many PC players have NVMe drives. So that's actually probably one area of the game on Series X. Like, you know, it's probably faster than a lot of people's PCs, because you said it's like a couple of seconds to load into a world, and I feel like even recently it takes me longer than that. So that's definitely one thing for the. Do we have any? How many people in the chat have a Series X out of interest? I know that's still quite hard to get a hold of. I think that for at least for a while they have been. Ethan, I'm going to address your question. I'm sorry, I don't ignore questions. I just I want to get to the head. Ethan's asking about shields. Want to add them to the game? Shields is definitely something that I could. It's a tough one, actually, honestly, Ethan, because in the past when I've just done kind of casual polls about shields, it often is more like a 50-50 kind of thing. Maybe 60-40, maybe 55. I don't know, but it's actually. It's not a solid, clear option in the community. Some people would love them. Some people would not like them. I myself would be for them as an option, right? So you could have like shielded and unshielded gameplay and so on. And especially if they are balanced. So it's definitely something that, you know, we've discussed and stuff, but I can't say anything about I can't say about any plans if it's coming or not, but I understand, you know, there's some amazing shield scripts in the community, that's for sure. So just a quick addressing the shields question. Give shields. So we got a couple of Series X's, Mako Pearls, and got on release day as well. We got a couple more Series X's or Series S's. I'm curious how the Series S. Do you have anyone? You probably will know this because of the community, right? How is it with the Series S? Compared to the Series X, I think the Series S is like similar to Xbox One X, but with the NVMe, right?
The Series X and the Series S are essentially similar. The big changes on the X are the fact that it's got the internal hard drive, and it's got the disk, and it can support the 4K, etc., etc.
Right.
The S is pretty much an X without the disk drive, with only 500 gig of internal storage. It still has the faster drive, but it's basically can support the 1080p TVs. So it's almost as though if you don't like disc-based games, you want a digital version of the console, it can still perform as well as the Series X does with all the bells and whistles just in 1080p.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it's definitely obviously the more affordable console as well. So yeah, I hope that answered the question as well, Ethan. There, okay, interesting. Do people still having problems to get them? Scalpers, right?
Scalpers, yeah. It's
a question as well for you, Darren. Is writing a novel different from writing a campaign adventure, and in what way are they similar? Do you find your creative process similar or completely different between them?
Well, every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Every adventure has a beginning, a middle, and an end. If you look at Lord of the Rings and you look at the way that starts and the middle and the end, it's the same thing. So, but with an adventure compared to a story is the story of A, B, and C. And it goes like that through the story. An adventure starts, middle, end, but there are branches that flick throughout that you might find the players go off to do this, or they might do that. And you can't account for every single thing that players would do. But a good adventure gives you options as a GM to look at what they might do and respond accordingly. So if you've got 5 locations, they might only hit 3 of them. But as a writer in the adventure, you detail all 5.
Of course, yeah.
And then you give options. I mean, with a Strontium Dog role-playing game, there is a series of standalone bounty hunts. But each one of those hunts has notes in it that link it to the one after. So you can run the whole thing as an interlinked campaign or as a series of one-offs for players who might only just want to go into one thing and do a hunt on one of the planets.
Okay.
But if you run the whole thing, it has a story arc that runs all the way from the beginning to the middle to the end. So I'd say the way it differs is in the way that you approach the novel, which is a linear outlined thing, so you know what's going to happen each chapter. Whereas in the adventure, you only have a rough idea of what the players will do when they get to this location.
You're not sure if they'll go off.
9 times out of 10, they'll go off script.
Yeah, exactly. But you're prepared for that because you've obviously you planned for this, so that's all that works out. So hopefully that helps, Chronix. I think Chronix says gotcha, so I think Chronix a good answer there, Darren. Void. I am aware of J Terps' stuff. It's really, really impressive things that they've been working on. Void. But please make better crossplay. You can't play without a server. So you're talking about where you could like host a game, and maybe a PC player could host a game or an Xbox player could host a game and just connect to the console or the PC rather than having a dedicated server. That's a good question, actually. It's a good point, ID. And I'm not sure of there must be a technical reason why it's not there yet. Because honestly, at least in PC and Xbox, between Xbox, dedicated servers are more complicated. At least that was why dedicated servers came after, on PC, and it's why they came after on Xbox. But Gwyn says Xbox can't host, or you have, the scripting's like a whatever. Like, of course, Xbox hosting can't have scripts, but still, Gwyn, do you know if there's or maybe anyone in chat knows of the reason why you can't have hosted games, only dedicated servers? I should know, right? But I actually don't, because it's the first time I've seen that question. It's only just occurred to me now that that's a thing that you can't actually. So if there's no idea, I will ask about that. There's probably some reason behind it. Performance, probably. You'd think that, but if the PC itself, if it's a PC host especially, it acts as like the server, right? And then the Xbox client can join that, and the PC scripts can, I don't know. Yeah, it probably is just, it probably needs some different kind of networking, and it may be a time thing. Dedicated servers, of course, allow you to have way more people, so it's actually, I'd imagine people would rather have dedicated servers than not, but then at the same time you have to have a dedicated server, either your own or you have to find one that you want to play on, right? Let's see.
Yeah, I was on the community crossplay stream. I was actually riding on the roof of your truck on the planet.
Pardon?
I was on the roof of your truck on that stream.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. I know it comes back. Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
That's right. On the Xbox.
No way. Oh, let me just, let's see, we got, and the poll's in. It's official. 2/3 of people prefer Steampunk to Cyberpunk.
What? That's interesting.
22 votes to 11 votes. There you go.
Wow.
It was 50-50 for a while, but broke off. So we'll look for some final questions here now, guys, for Darren. Chronix says, are you familiar with interactive fiction? A huge amateur community of talented writers creating single-player text adventures. Basically, you choose your own adventure books. And have you ever thought about writing one? Xocliw, do you know if SE's scenario editor is good enough to create branching story scenarios with multiple forks and endings? So I guess first question is for you there, Dwolfy. Did you get that one?
Yeah, that's interesting, actually, because that makes me think instantly of the scenario editor. Does it support the branching narrative style idea? I was friends with Joe Deaver. Joe Deaver, as I mentioned, he created the Lone Wolf Choose Your Own Adventure books. I actually wrote 2 bonus adventures for his books, Book 8, and I forget which were the other book, Death Lord of Ixia. I can't remember quite which book that was, maybe 16. And so I've actually written interactive adventures where you choose your own adventure. So I know how that's done from a pen and paper point of view, and then writing it down. Joe had a system which he taught me of how you sort of approach it. It's quite long and complicated. And again, it's like the outline system I use with writing novels.
Yeah.
This has its own sort of outlines and what happens on the page, where that page goes to, and then where it branches off to. And you have a number of pages as well. And each time that you sort of say you're on page 10, but you want to turn to page 23, page 17, and page 68, you write that in a document so you know exactly where you are and what you've done. So if you've got 150 sections of a choose your own adventure, you have to account for each one and where they branch and how many pages each one will take up as well. It's quite a complicated thing.
It sounds like it can quickly get out of hand, actually, as you're kind of writing this out. I mean, and as for the SE scenario editor, I don't know the answer to that question. I would like to say yes. I would like to say yes, Chronix, that there is ways to have branching story scenarios. Yeah, no, I think there is, because I think Frostbite has that to some degree. We said multiple forks and multiple endings. I believe there is. Yeah, the VST could do that. Now, the more I think about it, and Dillykin says they could definitely do that. Yeah. So I think it would just be a matter of time and planning all that out without it getting getting too crazy and complex. But definitely it can, because it's crazy though, because you have to a lot of these things think how it all plays together. And it's the situation where, like, if something happens at this part, how does it then affect the ending, right? So it's it's a lot to think about. It's both from the kind of the writing part of things. I know Frostbite was a decent sized team of different people, from the writing to the scripting to the level design. So it's a lot takes place in that. We need VST tutorials. I don't deny that. I'm sure VST, I think, is still pretty hard to get started with. I'm not sure how the forms, blank. The books, nope, gone blank. At least the tutorial guides, I'm not sure how the guides and documentation are these days for it. It's hard because a lot of these things do get out of date. I know that there are, in general, guides and tutorials that are a bit out of date for space engineers. I haven't checked recently, but that is something that the team's aware of, actually. So hopefully we can improve that in the future. There was another question for you, Darren. Do you use mods on Xbox? And if so, what are your top 3 go-to mods when you play?
That's an interesting question, and I can tell you that yes, I do use mods, and I will say straight away that I don't think I could fire up the game now, modded wise, without the Azimuth remaster.
Hey, there it is.
Big shout out to SE Modder and Sparky there, because that pack looks as though it could just come with the game in general. It's
beautiful. Yeah, it's really great. And if you guys missed,
I used it on the Callisto 71.
You guys should definitely check out, by the way. We should maybe get a specific link for that.
Strangely enough, Joel, I do actually have a DLC showcase for the Azimuth Remaster pack on my channel.
Oh, there you go. If we can get a link for that in the chat, that would be fantastic. If you guys missed that, we interviewed SE Modder and Sparky Fox just a couple weeks back. So it was a couple of weeks ago. We had them on the show, and we looked at that amazing pack. So yeah, we're still. It's kind of funny how it's tying in together. And I know they were talking about how they were publishing their stuff on Xbox, because unfortunately there's not as big variety of mods still on Xbox, because it involves modders publishing to both. Hopefully that improves, and hopefully more and more modders do that. But yeah, a good shout out there. I like that.
Yeah, I shall give Kinata the Azimuth mod showcase link. I should have it somewhere on this list. It's an absolutely incredible mod. If people haven't tried it out, then I would definitely recommend diving into the Azimuth remastered pack. because it's worth it for the quad flame front thrusters alone. Those things are incredible. I redid my own personal version of the Callisto 71 just using quad flame fronts, and it looks like a giant space heater, but it flies and lifts about 7,000 tons of shit like that.
Wow. Well, when we tested them, they were insanely powerful, so yeah.
They are.
Xmaster was saying the documentation is okay for the basics, but for advanced stuff, there's just no documentation. And that probably is because some of the advanced stuff was added later, Xmaster as well. So there is probably new features to the VST stuff, for example, which aren't even covered. So yeah, I know that in the Discord, there's people talking about it. So there are places to kind of learn together, but I realize there definitely could do improvements in that regard. Azimuth's also on my list. Anything else? Surak asks. Anything else must-have mods?
If you go to my channel and you look at the 13 sort of mod showcases I've got so far, those are pretty much my top mods. Like the rotary airlock is one that I really love.
Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah.
The conveyor air vent block, the slope as well. Those are brilliant. I use those throughout the Callisto 71 because I just love the flush air vents on those, and they're so useful to be able to link in to sort of places you normally couldn't really put an air vent.
Yeah.
I'm very fond of the new maglev landing gear and the maglev pistons. I showcase on the pistons. If you put just a single drill on one of those pistons, you can pull out nearly 400k of stone into a box just off one single drill down, because it's 35 meters of distance.
Yeah. I mean, in that case, if you guys want to know more of Dwolfyone suggestions, definitely check out his YouTube, where he has all his mod showcases, Xbox specific mod showcases. He's really doing massive things for the Xbox community with his videos, tutorials, mod showcases, builds, and he mentioned already in the future that he wants to do some showcase. So, showcasing Xbox players' builds as well on his videos. So definitely get involved in his community and the Xbox community in general as well. It's great to see that. And of course, today is very Xbox focused because it is the Xbox anniversary today. So it's very fitting that we're kind of covering more of the Xbox community today. And hopefully, Xbox players out there have got some more resources today.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be doing a lot of content. I can, depending on my work, obviously, I try to do a video at least a Saturday and a Sunday because I take those days off. When I'm writing, I can write throughout the entire week. I can do between 4,000 to 5,000 words a day if I knuckle down writing-wise. And in the mornings, sometimes I'll throw up a Space Engineers video, especially if there's something interesting mod-wise that I spot. Like Flare's sort of torch drive caught my attention enough to build an entire ship around them, which is where the Callisto 71 came from.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I'm going to do a lot of Xbox content. Like I said, the survival series is going to be a good focus because I want to give people a simple step-by-step sort of start of the game, probably on Earth-like, because that's one of the easier ones in a way, especially when you learn how to find ore. And I notice a lot of Xbox players still have a sort of issue trying to find ore in the game.
Yeah.
The Azimuth pack can help with that.
It's got the...
Especially if you build the Azimuth Mega Mod pack. If you build the overclocked ore detector, you'll find it's a lot easier, even on a small grid, to find ore.
No, I mean it's. Oh wait, sorry, I missed that last part. What's the thing they've got in that pack? We looked at it, I think, right?
You've got the Azimuth Remaster, but you've got their Mega Mod pack, which is all the Azimuth mods in one pack. They're not remastered yet.
But there's a booster, right, isn't there?
And Sparky are going to add other things to remaster as they go.
Yeah.
but that one has their overclocked ore detectors.
Oh
in.
yeah, so I thought it was that the boosted range
the
one.
ore
Yeah, okay. I know you know. Yeah.
Powerful.
Oh yes, Azimuth stuff is powerful in general. That's for sure. Person is just asking about the blueprints locally. So I think there's a 250 megabyte limit. Is that right for local blueprints? And they have to delete. They have to delete beautiful creations to make room for new ones. Am I right in saying that a slight workaround for that would be to upload to mod.io and then delete them locally, but you can just re-download them or like access them via the clouds?
Also, if you put them on mod.io and you actually go into your files part of mod.io and click on the zip, you can save them onto a drive. That's where I've got the Blisto 71. And then you can just literally re-upload that back onto mod.io and make your own almost like release of the ship.
It's a good point though. I wonder why, if that limit is some kind of Microsoft limit. I don't know why, because I will. It's another good point actually. A person who exists, because if you want to fill up your Xbox drive with SE creations, then you should be allowed to do that, right? But unless there's something that I'm missing, because there might be some reason why it's limited to 250 megabyte. I don't know. But it's worth asking about it. But short term, a solution is definitely using mod.io to have them stored in the cloud, and then you can always re-access them. So, okay, guys. Oh, it's just security of the Xbox. That's why That's why they weren't allowed to do it. So, okay. I mean, I get that, Ben. You have 4 terabytes local storage on Xbox. People can have external hard drives, but I don't know why. I think the 256. I think that's actually a cloud. I think that's actually cloud drive, isn't it? It's not mod.io cloud. This 250 megabyte limit is. I think it's because all blueprints are saved to the cloud, the Xbox cloud, not your hard drive. I think, if you see what I mean. Because whenever you log on to Whenever you log on to a different Xbox, log into your account, it will download all of your blueprints and all of your worlds, that 250 megabyte limit. So I think the thing is now the fact there actually isn't any local blueprints in the game. It's because that 250, it must be something to do with the fact that there's a limit for cloud saves. SE is the only game I know on Xbox that limits the game save space. Well, mainly because many other games wouldn't take up a lot of space, because they don't have like a blueprint. One blueprint can be like 30 megabyte, whereas most games save files are like kilobytes. They're tiny. They're just like showing you at which point in the mission you are or something like that. I don't know. I'm not familiar with a sandbox, maybe Minecraft or anything else, but I know that save games in general for games are normally like tiny. But in SC, I have Space Engineers worlds that are 250 megabytes. Like one world is that size, right? So that's the potential problem there, I think. It's the cloud limit, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just reading what Gwyn's saying. Interesting. Okay. So that must. I mean, I have to find out to see if there's a way, if there's any plans to have local saves, right? You can have cloud saves, and maybe you can choose which ones, but then you can have local ones that if you go on to different Xbox, you won't have them or something like that. I don't know, honestly, but it's an interesting point you bring up, and it probably wasn't a problem to start with because people were playing out. It was like creating some stuff, but after a year, this is the long-term stuff, right? After a year of building and creating, you probably have a lot of blueprints and worlds that are taking up space, right? So Gwyn says if you turn off cloud saving in the game options, it should be fine. If you turn off cloud storage in the game settings, then it will go to not cloud or local storage. So maybe that's an option. But if you do that, please back up your stuff first to mod.io, because I don't know. I assume turning off cloud saving will just like pause it. They'll be there and you turn it on again, they'll be back. But I wouldn't want you to turn off cloud saving and your stuff to be deleted. So please use that toggle with caution. Maybe back up to mod.io if you've got some really important builds. I don't know, actually. I'm not sure if you have any idea about that, Darren.
No, I'm not sure on that one. But yeah, I would probably be careful with turning off cloud storage.
Yep.
I'd certainly err on the side of caution on that one.
On Xbox, no save data for any game is saved locally to negate modding save files. Oh, it's all. Is that right, John? I apologize. I am not.
That's all right.
Yeah. So apparently, there may not be any local saves. It's all on cloud. Interesting. I'm getting different. I'm a little bit confused here, but it'll be something I will bring up at a meeting, guys, and see if it's something we can somehow address. If it's a Microsoft, it may be a Microsoft thing. Maybe all players are only allowed to have 250 megabytes of these Microsoft cloud saves. Again, not an issue in other games because most save games or screenshots they're not that big. But yeah, I'm kind of guessing now. But Michael's saying some of my world's over 1 gig. But are you on? Yeah, I don't know. Need to look into it. Jude says, yeah, the Space Engineers trailer ships, there are some on the Steam Workshop, not on mod.io. There are some on mod.io, but there's a collection on the Steam Workshop. Not all of them are up to date though. There's not ones from the most recent ones, but there are some. It's the Microsoft things about security of the saves. So you're on PC, that's why. Okay, so yeah, you had some people saying they had 3 gig saves, but I guess that's because they're on PC. Yeah, I have to look at that then. I have to look into that. It's definitely a longer term, especially as the years go on and more years, and people have more builds. Trying to manage your creations, I can see that being a problem. Okay, guys, so I think we're going to start wrapping up here today. We're just about to come up to the 2-hour mark. So if there's any final things, Dwolfyone or Darren, you'd like to cover today on today's stream, any more shout-outs that I've missed?
I shout out to the general Xbox Space Engineers community who are awesome. That's everybody, not just the ones in the Facebook group. This is the players of Space Engineers on the Xbox, but also to the PC players as well, the Space Engineers, because without the PC version, the Xbox wouldn't have a version. This game is probably the top creation game across PC and Xbox because it's so versatile. You've got your Conan Exiles, you've got all the other ones, but you cannot on those make a thing that goes from planet to space with working parts, with a ramp that can deploy, a walking Jaeger.
Oh god, yeah.
With deployable weapons.
I was seeing that. Oof, yeah.
So on. It's an exciting time to be a gamer in general, and it's an exciting time to be an Xbox gamer and to support Space Engineers. And it's a big thank you to everybody who's subscribed throughout nearly a year of content, really, for the game. Because, on April the 27th last year, I started doing Space Engineers videos. So once I hit April the 27th this year, it will be a year of my own Xbox content focused specifically on the Xbox version with, solo play and everything done on a controller. I built the Callisto 71 in 48 hours on a controller. In creative mode, but that's 48 hours.
48 hours. Actually, talking of hours, I just remembered something. How many Xbox players, I'm curious, as it's been a year, how many hours do you feel like, would you say you've played Space Engineers on Xbox in the last year? And then, I'm sure Darren will let us know as well. It's hard because I know Steam counts it, but if I remember rightly, Xbox doesn't actually show you how many hours, right?
I think you can find it out unless I think you're on the console. The console used to show you how many hours you'd put into a specific game, but I think they took that out.
That's what I heard as well. They took it out for some reason. I'm not maybe trying to. I don't know why. It's a really weird decision, but if you could estimate, I know it's in the hundreds, right?
Hundreds and hundreds of hours into Space Engineers on the Xbox. Yeah, I can play for like 8 hours a day, because I'll sit there and I'll start building something, or I'll be playing a survival game, and then the small little hut that I've got, expands vastly into a sort of headquarters that now supports the large refiner. The other stuff has multiple drills and so on. Just having a look to see if there's any particular. Apparently, if it's still there, you can go through the menu for the game you want and look at it on the Xbox One. So I might have a look on my Series X and see
if you can see
it
it there. Yeah.
Go on to Kinata and he can pass it on to you. But hundreds and hundreds of hours I've put into that.
You've got yes. I think you're not alone. There's 300 players there. 300 hours from Roberto, MI6, 450 plus, many hundreds. Dillikins, 119 hours in the last 2 weeks. Holy moly, that's a lot of hours.
Nice.
Let's see there.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to download the Callisto 71, they can do. It's on mod.io. Callisto 71 Torch Freighter. All the mods are listed in the actual dependencies of it. You'll need to download the mods themselves, but they're all there so you can see which ones I've used. And those are also potentially a list of my top mods with things like the passage intersections and the MA Admiral suite up there as well. And I'll give the link to
definitely,
C71 as well if he wants to drop that in the chat for people.
Playing SC 10 to 15... Wait. Playing SC every day for 10 to 15 hours since the last 4 months. Whoa, that's commitment, Jim. There. Wow, we got some hardcore gamers in the chat. That's for sure. Fantastic. Yeah, so we kind of went off on a spin there of your hours played. But any more kind of shout outs there, Dwolfy, you want to cover tonight?
Well, I'm going to shout out because I know my dad will watch this on a VOD.
Cool.
So I'm going to give a shout out to my dad. He's a science man and an environmental scientist, and he's a big fan of space engineers.
Fantastic.
He's actually watched me playing the sort of game on. He actually watches my videos now on the channel.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hello to Darren's dad in the VOD,
and my wife Jill, who will watch this as well. She's actually a role-playing game artist. And she's worked on a couple of books with me.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
It's pretty cool. And we'll have been married for 26 years because the anniversary is on my birthday as well.
So you started working on RPGs after you got married then, in that case?
Yeah.
That's cool
though. I spent 7 years as a teacher as well.
Oh, really? No way. It's great that you can collaborate though. That's awesome. Seeing here, how many comments I'm missing here? Lots of people putting down the hours played in the chat. Oh, talking of streams, would you ever? Because do you do live streams? Or have you done live streams?
I do. When I record these, because of course originally we had like Mixer on the Xbox, but that went by live, and so I just decided really to use Twitch, save the VOD, upload the VOD to YouTube. So whenever I record one of these, if people drop by the Twitch channel, you'll actually see me recording these videos live, and I often record them between sort of 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning UK time.
That's early riser. That's good.
Early riser. Yeah.
That's not that. It's not that. It's normal time. It's normal time to wake up. Don't listen to me. But no, is that the same? Is it Dwolfyone as well on Twitch?
It's if I pass the Twitch
link
to
I definitely feel like people would like to chat with you more for sure. Just like you said in the Discord, be it about space engineers on Xbox or RPG stuff. And streams like this are great, and you've done the face reveal now, so you know it's that's also that also helps, because I think you've got some really interesting experience in both on with space engineers and the RPG stuff, and I'm sure people would love to have deeper conversations about this stuff, right? So I feel like there it is, DWP_1969, there it is. So yeah, I mean, I would, and if I see you streaming, I'll definitely stop by as well, because I feel like I feel like tonight is too short for all the things we could possibly discuss about space engineers.
If you want me back on again, I'm more than happy to jump back on.
It will be great. It will be
No
fantastic.
problem.
Yeah, it'd be really good. And thank you so much for actually joining us today. It was
it's been a
really
pleasure.
nice, really nice to have to finally kind of get this weekly show running here. And yeah, I hope everyone in chat enjoyed it as well tonight. And we'll be obviously looking for more, more guests in the future. We've had, we've had modders, we've had a YouTube / RPG writer. Where can we go from here? That is a question. But thank you so much, Darren. Thank you so much for joining me. And we will be
absolutely super.
Actually, no. Final things is the things to check out for yourself. The main things I've remembered. You've got the drive-through RPG website where you can see all of Darren's work. Let me use a link for this. Hold on. So if you guys are interested in his RPG writing, you can check out this link here. That's drive-through RPG. If you're interested in Darren's channel, it's linked down below in the description on YouTube, but you can also check out the link there. So please do go show some support for Darren. He's doing some fantastic stuff for the Xbox community. There's lots of links to like. There's also the Space Engineers Xbox community group on Facebook as well. So all the links today, and yeah, hopefully you get some new members of that community from today's stream from Darren.
Yeah, I say they're welcome on the Discord as well. I quite happily chat to people on Discord. If there's enough interest, I can always open up a channel on the Discord for a writing sort of channel.
It looks like it. It looks like maybe. It looks like there's lots of people who are really curious about your experience there and some
if
tips.
They are in, like I said, if they're in the UK and we get a chance to do a proper face-to-face UK Games Expo in the next year or so, then I will be there as a guest, doing my workshop in adventure writing, but also I'll be there to chat to as well in terms of anybody who's interested in writing in general. You can pop on and I'm quite happily talk about book writing, adventure writing.
Awesome. That's great to hear, and hopefully people will definitely take you up on that offer. So thank you so much, Darren. We'll be in touch again in the future, and really looking forward to seeing your future work and following along there.
Yeah, cheers.
Okay, thanks, man. Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye for now. Okay, guys. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining us here. Of course, we have the teaser for this week on stream right now. Some interesting things shown. So much as I didn't plan for, but yes, awesome guest today. And I'm really thinking now, like how more like diverse can we get? What do you guys have any like ideas of other kind of? We already said, like, I think there's a load of modders. I see Gwyn in the chat. I know Gwyn's been modding SE for a while. I mean, I feel like at the moment I'm there's so many options for guests. But yeah, thank you so much, Darren. It was awesome stuff. Let's see. We'll also end today's stream with a community video, as we always do. So I've got a really cool community video planned for later at the end. And I also want to remind you guys that we have a special sale on right now for the Style Pack. You guys can, let me get up on the screen here as well. It's a limited 24-hour flash sale for you guys. For the Style Pack. Let's get this up. And I think we'll get a link in chat again for this one. You can find it on the website, and down here you can see 30% discount. This is for PC only, though. I should point out. I think that's just to do with the sale. I know we've had the Xbox focus stuff tonight. I think if we can see if we can improve that as well in the future. But definitely PC players, if you haven't got the Style Pack, 24-hour sale there. Check it out. Okay. Got all the DLC, Chronix? Roger, roger. Cool. Already bought it? Awesome. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It really, yeah, it's, I feel like I need to go back and watch it because it's, he's, you know, Dwolfyone is definitely had a really interesting career, and I've definitely got to look up more of his work now. It's really cool. It's on Steam. Yeah, if you that sale, it's for a Steam key, but the sale is via our website. But you get a Steam key. It's through Zola. So see there. Put this on again for a second. I'll actually hide myself so you guys can see this uninterrupted here. There you go. There we are. Let's let that one play out. Okay, awesome. Is it it is part of the Ultimate Bundle, yes. So if you have the Ultimate Edition for, you know, either Xbox or PC, you'll already have this Style Pack or our previous DLCs. So yeah, and later this month we've got 2 weeks left, 2 Thursdays left of this month. And yeah, the next update is ever closer now. So, well, we can't confirm an exact date yet. You guys, I think we'll see this pretty soon. So, I have Kianata. Any other news tonight I should cover? I think I've covered everything, right? I think I've covered all the shout outs and all the news. I have my outro video prepped as well. It's a really good one, actually. I'm hosting another Weapon Core tournament this Saturday. So we're on to our test tournament number 6. So if you're interested in crazy epic Space Engineers battles, join me on Twitch on Saturday at 6 p.m. UTC for our 6th Weapon Core tournament, test tournament, should I say. So that's this weekend. You covered everything plus leaks, so we are good. So no, I think that's all good, actually. Favorite weapon pack? Impossible question, David. I could not answer that question. Could I? Nope, I couldn't. I couldn't even begin to try and answer that question, David. There's so many weapon packs out there that all do different things, different functions, look different. So it'd be really hard for me to answer that. So, give more leaks. I can't think of any more leaks. I mean, can I give any more leaks? No. Yeah. Is there a link to the Weapon Core mod list? It's on the website. If you visit, you can get a link for that actually. If you visit starcore.tv, Chronix, you can see all the various mods that we use for each tournament there. So that's that. Awesome. So, final shout outs. Who do we have in the chat tonight? Let me read out some names from both Twitch and YouTube. Who have we got hanging out? Let's have a look. I see Chronix, Rogue Wraith, Space and Confused, Gwendolmere, The Asgardian, Math, Revend, Elfie Wolf, Cat and Martha, Massacote, Arkaville, LX, Roni, Dillikins, Selenius, Roni, Commander Shepherd, Havoc, Rogue Wraith, Sirac, Evenstar, Spouticus, Terence, John. In YouTube, I see Wayneo, Person Who Exists, X-Master, Halo 64, Marcin. Hey, good to see Marcin again. Actually, that reminds me. Winners, people are still wondering about the Sounds of Space Engineers contest. So if you haven't missed that last week, we released the results, and you can check out the music video of all the winners. We're still going to it's on my list to kind of make sure we get all that going through. So if you're a winner, hang on tight. We'll make sure that process is going to be going smoothly. And some people are asking, when will that new music be in the game? The new music will be in a future update. We don't know exactly which one, because obviously we are approaching the next one, and obviously testing all the rest of it. So I'll probably just say it will not make it to the next update because of time, but hopefully, more than likely, it will be in the update after that, because we do need some time to review some things and all the rest of it. But that's just a heads up about that. So yeah, who did I miss? I got Dan as well, Kuvatex, Space Explorer, Baldernick, and then going back to YouTube, Rabid, Duck Sauce, Floss, Adventus, Gravity Generator, MI6, Trent, Crimson Cool, Ben, Jamassive, Dwolfyone, Michael, Amped, Alaki, Razor, Unsander, Jude, Isaac. I got it. Fantastic. There we go, guys. So we're going to play to finish here. We've got a video. This is an awesome video. This is the Mech Factory cinematic. So prepare yourselves for epic video viewing. And oh, hello. Epic music here. Okay. What the heck? I don't want this. All right. Thank you for cookies. Here we are. Captain Steve, there you go. Didn't miss you. Gotcha. Rogue Wraith. Matter game. Awesome. Yep. Thank you so much, guys. We'll be back next week with another Devs Lost in Space stream. Or will we? We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. So, until the next one, guys, enjoy the Mech Factory cinematic. Many thanks to Dwolfyone, and I'll see you guys very soon. Didn't think of a quote today. Almost there. And there we go. And there we go, guys. Amazing stuff. Now, incredible. I just want to say that this is also done all with timer blocks, I believe, which makes it even more impressive. All timer blocks, no scripts. So massive, massive, insane work here. I'll be linking the video as well in the chat in a second, so you guys can go leave a comment and a like on this video, because this is very, very, very impressive stuff. This is by Apologies. This is by Apologies as well. Shout out to the creator of this mech factory and video. And to finish, guys, we have latest. how about a meme format here to finish here? That really is all for tonight, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you in a stream very soon. Bye-bye.